Are you a business owner who always wanted to launch their podcast but struggle with launching your podcast? I tell you this, in this video, we're going to talk about the challenges of podcasting and how you can overcome them today. So, welcome to another episode of the Failure is Knowledge Podcast. I'm your host. My name is Terrell Humphrey, and over the last half a decade, we have produced over 893 podcast episodes while helping many entrepreneurs launch their podcasts in a short span of time. In fact, we bring the production to you. So I'm getting the pitch down, and so let's get into it. So first thing first. The biggest challenge with podcasting is that when you have a podcast, a lot of people who are interested in podcasting or they would like to learn more about what you have to do, many times it's them coming on to my platform. It's them coming on to the Failure's Knowledge. It's them coming on and sharing their story. One day I recognized when I was learning about business, then start to understand business, I was like, wait, hold on. Yes, I get it. It's Failure's Knowledge Podcast, but my business is not around me. Like, my business does not involve me. Yes, I'm doing the business, but what matters the most is that we are helping our customers. And so when I start to really understand, I was like, wait, I got to switch the narrative. My podcast, Failure's Knowledge Podcast, is a podcast that talks about turning setbacks into success. But the business model is helping entrepreneurs or multifamily investors launch their podcasts so they can stop procrastinating. That alone is a challenge because whenever I say I'm a podcast producer, and we help establish multifamily investors and or business owners launch their podcasts, they often say, well, can I come onto your podcast? Like, how can I come onto yours? How can I share my story on your platform? And I'm like, wait, hold on. I wasn't trying to promote Failure's Knowledge. I was trying to help you launch your podcast. And so the biggest challenge is that, yes, when you have a podcast, the concept of it is for people to come onto your platform so they can share their story and speak to your audience and build trust with people that you have built trust with. The challenges come from is understanding that I had to separate the two. I have Failure's Knowledge over here, and then over here I have the production where we actually come to you for and help you launch your podcast. We take care of the recording, the editing, and the publishing. So that way, all you have to do is literally sit down. Like you sit down, you have the conversation, and now 7 to 30 days later, you get the recording. We depending on how you what you purchase, we publish it for you. And we remove the stress of what equipment do I need? What studio do I need? We make it convenient for our customers because we bring the production to you. It was hard for me to say for a long time because I'm like, man, let me just keep it simple. Let me just keep it simple. I've changed my business model so many different times. Like, it's incredible the amount of times that I've changed my business model. And every time I change it, it goes back to what I was thinking about in the beginning. What I thought about in the beginning was like, how can I make my business, my podcast production business, convenient for everyone? And I'm thinking because I don't have a studio, I'm not like the other podcasters. And so I give you a prime example. Yesterday, I was speaking with my professor. Put him to the side, got to ask me questions around like what I was doing, the business I was doing, how I get customers, and all these different things. And I'm not gonna lie, it was very, very intense. It wasn't intense in a bad way, but it was intense like, let me just figure out what you're doing. Let me help you gain the clarity or let me see if you have the clarity. I thought I had the clarity. I didn't have the clarity. And the way he was asking the questions, it was like, I don't know. I felt confident in the beginning, but then I'm like, I don't know. You got me second guessing if I'm sharing it correctly. But my biggest takeaway from that was this: it's not that the clarity wasn't there. It's just that the amount of clarity wasn't there. Like, it wasn't enough clarity on top of the clarity that was there. Okay, why is it important? With podcast production, the clarity has to be simple. Like, we bring the production to you. And for a long time, I literally was like, that's going to be my new positioning because, like, a lot of people worry about the studio. A lot of people worry about the equipment. A lot of people worry about the location. Now, what if we come to you? What if we come to your location? What if we come and bring the equipment? What if we come and have the conversation? You have the conversation, we just record. You see, it's not just about having a conversation that it took me a long time to recognize. It's more so about positioning yourself as the authority that people like to listen to. So Now I'm like, okay. When I start learning more about business, they say you got to go talk to your customers. And when I went to go speak to my customers, I'm like, okay, what are y'all struggling with? What are y'all challenges with? And they told me, but the information came from the knowledge that wasn't shared. It was what they were saying. No, they didn't make any sense. The information came from how they answered the question, or what they thought about, or what they was thinking about. And I'm like, why are y'all saying it like that? Like, I don't think that's the business model, right? I don't think I'm supposed to be doing that. In fact, that is the business model, because my customers, the people who I want to help, the people who I want to serve, are telling me exactly how to help them. They're telling me exactly how to help them. And I tell you this, it was so confusing, because I'm like, man, why is this so hard? Why is business so hard? It's so hard. Business is so difficult because there's so many moving parts. People say you got to keep business simple. In addition to that, they don't also mention that you have to understand the business that you're doing. Okay? It's hard. It's all hard. Eventually it'll make sense. Yesterday, I had the epiphany coming home. I was like, okay, let me just think about it. Let me just think about it. So I started doing research on other podcast production companies. And they have the studios. They have the equipment. They have the fancy setup. But I'm like, wait, that's not my competitive advantage. The studio is important because it's good. Like, you literally can go and record. It's nice. On the contrary, it's inconvenient. It's not as convenient as us coming to you to produce your podcast. So last couple of weeks, last couple of months, in fact, we've been actually doing that for the last couple of years. But then it's like, well, how do you make that a business? Well, it's a process. How do you get the customers? Well, where did they come from? Then how do you serve them? How do you follow up with them? All these different things. But the main thing that we was doing is making the podcast production convenient. One of the challenges with podcasting is making it convenient for your customers. Not making it convenient for you, but making it convenient for your customers. That's one of the things that he said it. One of my professors said. He said it in a way that made sense. But then when I got to thinking about it, I was like, that actually make a lot of sense. But I'll tell you this, it wasn't what he said, it was how he said it. How he said what he said made me understand more about helping and bringing the production to the customers. Convenience is what matters the most. And this is what we are focused on. We bring the production to you, so all you have to do is just sit down. We set up the equipment. We set up the lights. We set up the conversation. We make sure that you are comfortable. And all you have to do is have the conversation. So then when I start helping people with their podcast, I start to see a trend. I start to see a pattern. What I start to notice is that all they had to do was just sit down and have the conversation. So the business model was working. It just took me a while to recognize why it worked. I'm thinking I'm just going there to have the podcast or help them have the podcast, help them produce the podcast. But in reality, I'm going there, going to them. They're not coming to me. I'm going to them. They don't have to leave. They don't have to get in the car, waste their gas, waste their money. No. It's more so about us positioning us as convenience. That's crazy. The biggest challenge with podcasting is not only making it convenient, but it's listening to your customers. What are they saying? What are they responding to? What are they liking? That alone is a game changer, because I'm like, okay, how can I be different? People always say, like, what's your competitive advantage? I'm like, One moment I got it right. Then the next moment I change it. The next moment I change. I got 3 flyers right here. I want to show this. Hold on. I got 3 flyers that say 3 different things. Okay. These three flyers. Let me see. Hello. All right. These 3 flyers are important. So this is the new one. It says, stop procrastinating. It's time to start. Okay. Then I got this one. You share your expertise. We handle the rest. And then this one says launch your podcast in less than 90 minutes. So they're all the same brochures, like all the same. Yep, all the same, right? Got the same cover, got the same back, etc. The first one was you share your expertise, we handle the rest. I changed that one because it was like, I don't think that actually makes sense. Like, you share your expertise, we handle the rest. I mean, yeah, it makes sense. It kind of makes sense. Then when you open it, right? We help business owners build trust through podcasting. Yes, that's accurate. That's accurate. And then I got the different services right here. I think I'm gonna show it right. Yeah, I can show it right here. So I got it right here and stuff like that. All right, boom. All right, so I got this. I was like, then I go out and market it and put it out to the world and talk and communicate. But the response was like, it wasn't like, oh, they yet. It was like a hesitation. It was like something was wrong with my communication. They wasn't understanding what I was saying and how we go about helping them. I'm like, okay, I got to change it now. So then I changed it to launch your podcast in less than 90 minutes. This is good because this is one of the offers that we have. This is the webinar trainings that we have. Launch your podcast in less than 90 minutes. All you have to do is just join the podcast webinar training at failuresknowledge.com/podcast webinar, or the description will be down below for free, right? With that, we teach you about podcasting. But the challenge with that came from, okay, now that we are teaching about podcasting, the goal is to like guide you to podcasts. But then I'm like, okay, people still not buying, people still not getting it, people still are not like launching their podcasts. I'm like, what am I doing wrong? What I was doing wrong is that I was communicating the problem differently. So then I changed. This is the most recent one, right? I did a podcast workshop last month, and I was talking like, quit stalling, stop stalling. It's time for you to launch your podcast. And then that was like, I don't understand the word stalling. Like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't understand it. I said, like procrastinating. It's kind of like procrastinating. Like, you're procrastinating to start. When I said that, that was like, oh, that's what it is. Gee, I've been procrastinating for half a da-da-da-da-da. I'm like, oh, in my mind, I'm like, that's it. What was it? That reaction to the word that I used. Procrastination. People understand procrastination. People don't understand stalling. People understand procrastination. So I'm like, ooh, okay. Let me figure out. I think I got. So I changed the flyer to this, to stop procrastinating. Hold on, let me come right here. Stop procrastinating. It's time to start. And then when I open it, right? When I open the flyer, it says, we come to you. You share your expertise. Hold on. We come to you. You share your expertise. Okay. And then when we open it, you got launch your podcast in less than 90 minutes. You got turn one recording to 30 days of content. Then you got capture event testimonials in less than 30 days. I don't know what the testimonials got to do with the podcast just yet. I might change that, but for now, I'm gonna keep it because it's already there. Nonetheless, I've already printed 200 different copies, so I gotta keep it now. So the goal was to understand that the podcast is around helping others launch their podcast. But what I start to recognize is that when people want to launch their podcast, they get stuck because they don't have the equipment. They get stuck because they don't have the location. They get stuck because they don't know how to share their expertise. What we come in at is that we bring the production to you. We guide the conversation. We record, edit, and publish your podcast. So now all you have to do is sit down, and now all of a sudden you share your expertise. You see, if it was easy, if business was easy, everybody would be doing it. Since it's not easy, everybody's not doing it. But since we have a better clarity of the direction that we're going, stop procrastinating. Let me see if you can see it. Stop procrastinating. Why? Because now is your time to launch the podcast. The second challenge with podcasting is this. People wait until the perfect time. They wait until the perfect time. How do I know this? Well, when I talk to a lot of entrepreneurs who want to launch their podcast, I ask, how long have you been wanting to launch your podcast? I'm surprised by the responses. Some say a month. Okay. Some say 2 months. Here's where the surprise comes from. Some say 6 months. Some say a year. Some say 2 years. Some say 3 years. Some say 4 years. Some say 5 years. I'm like, you procrastinated for 5 years to launch your podcast? It's not about procrastination. It's about overthinking the process of launching your podcast. What microphone do I need? What camera do I need? What studio do I need? Where can I go to launch my podcast? The challenge with procrastination is that you overthink how to podcast. You overthink how to share your story. You overthink your expertise. You see, when I got out the Marine Corps, learning the language from the Marine Corps to not being in the Marine Corps was kind of challenging. Why? Because I'm used to speaking in a different way. In the military, we speak a different way. If you get around anybody who served in the Army, the Navy, the Marines, the Air Force, I haven't met anybody from Space Force, etc. There's a certain way that we communicate. I was talking to one of my mentors, and he did 20. Oh wait, I think he said he did 30 something years. Like he did longer than me in the military. He said, man, he said the hardest thing was to communicate what we do. Was to communicate in a simple way where people can understand how we do it. And I'm like, why? Like, why was that so challenging? Mind you, he did 30 years. He did like 20 to 30. He did a long time in the military. He said, because it's not the fact that I don't know what I'm doing. I just don't know how to communicate in a way that you understand it. So he went to different communication programs and started talking and communicating and all these different things. And then the communication became simple. And then it becomes simple, it became more understandable. So when I start to recognize that, I'm like, okay, maybe that's the problem that I had. I was too focused on like sounding smart, sounding too educated. I'm not saying dumb yourself down. I'm not saying dumb your education or dumb the way you are communicating. No, I'm saying communicate in a way where your audience can understand it. Here's another example. I've been learning Spanish, right? I've been learning Spanish on and off for a long time and it's still being on and off. I'm not as fluent, but I'm learning. I'm learning it, right? All right. I stopped learning. I need to start back learning it. Okay. As I start to learn it, let's say I go to a restaurant and the waiter there, they speak Spanish. Yes, they speak English, but if I try to speak and communicate with them in their language, their whole demeanor change, like their whole body language change, their whole perspective change, their whole like, wait, hold on. You know the language? Welcome to the language. The language has to be understood. It's not just about what you say, okay? It's about how you say it. Come on. It's about how you say the problem that you're solving. The second biggest challenge with podcasting is that a lot of people think you need the equipment. A lot of people think you need the studio. A lot of people think you need all this technicality behind it. But in reality, you just have to start with what you have. That's easier said than done. But when I start, what do I talk about? How do I know that I'm going to listen to? How do I know people are going to listen to me? How do I know what I'm going to say is going to be valuable? You see, that's a challenge in podcasting because you don't know the answer until you start publishing, until you start releasing, until you start updating and publishing your podcast. You see, procrastination comes from overthinking. I need to have a studio. In fact, I know a lot of entrepreneurs who go out and purchase the equipment. I know a lot of entrepreneurs who go purchase the equipment and never use the equipment. So then I asked, I'm like, how many of you all know anybody who has went to go purchase the equipment, but now their equipment is looking like this? Their equipment is dusty. It's never been used. It's never been tried on. And they say, myself, I know myself because I've done it. So some people say that they have done it. Some people say that they know people who have done it. But it's not just about the equipment that will help you become a better podcaster. It's about sharing your expertise, connecting with others, and being okay with sharing yourself. You see, I can't be nobody else but myself. I can't be nobody else but myself. And so when I start to get more comfortable on camera, I'm like, there's a lot of people struggle with comfortability and showing their personality on camera. When I start to talk to people, they say, yeah, that's the biggest struggle that I got. Because I don't want to be judged. I don't want to be, I want to sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to sound unintelligent. But I tell you this, it's not about sounding unintelligent. It's about understanding that you can grow. Hold on. When you grow, you have to be okay with taking action. The action that you are taking is preparing you to not overthink everything, but to apply something. You have to apply something. I'm in school for business management, and every time I'm in class and I hear something that's like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, that makes sense. Hold on. I go apply it. I go try it. I go test it out. So when I come back to my professors or or the subject that we're talking about, I come and ask a different question. I don't say when I was reading the book, this is what it said. I said when we went over in class, and I researched it and I looked more into it, then I went to go try it. Why did this happen like that? How can I understand more of it? Because it's not just about receiving information. It's about applying the information. But procrastination makes you overthink what needs to be applied. So the first 2 points that we went over so far, first point is that one of the biggest challenges of podcasting is that it's not about you. It's not about your podcast. It's about helping others launch their podcast. The second thing that we talked about, second challenge that we talked about, was that a lot of business owners procrastinate because they want to be perfect. They want to come out as intelligent. They want to come out as having everything figured out. The last challenge that we're going to talk about that a lot of business owners struggle with podcasting, and this is the biggest challenge of them all. It's being okay with failing. It's been okay with not being perfect. It's been okay with trying. You got to try something before you understand how to do it. When I started YouTube a half a decade ago, back in 2021, I started with an idea. I was like, okay, I have my phone. I have a little tripod. Let me start doing something. So I started to cook. As I started to cook, I'm like, ooh, okay, there's different recipes that's here that I can try, that's good, that's bad. And I remember trying to make chicken fried rice one time. I tried to make chicken fried rice one time. The rice was not fried, the chicken was cooked, but the food did not taste good. I failed publicly. I failed publicly. Because you can go back and watch the video of me failing publicly. But that taught me something. It taught me something. It's okay to fail publicly because you're literally learning. The more you practice, the better you become. The more you try, the more you understand. The more you attempt anything, the more you be better equipped. You can't be skilled if you don't have the skills. There's a difference between having talent and being talented. Talent, hold on, what is it? It's the difference between having a natural born gift and being talented. Or skills are talented. I think it's having the difference between skills and talent. Anywho, you're born with one of them. And then the other one you have to, you're born with the talent, but you have to work on your skill. You have to work on your podcast. You have to work on sharing your story. You have to work on communication. You have to work on failing publicly. Because when you fail publicly, you learn faster. When you develop the skills, you understand what you are doing. But before you gain a skill, you got to be okay with developing your talent. If it was easy, 90% of podcasters wouldn't stop after episode number 3. In fact, they would keep going. But since it's challenging, since it's difficult, since it's overwhelming, a lot of podcasters stop after episode number 3. 90% of podcasters who launch their podcast stops after episode number 3. See, we are different. We actually produce more than 893 podcast episodes. So that consistency is there. That skill is there. That development is there. And every day we are consistently failing publicly. You can never learn everything. I mean, you can never know it all, but you can always learn everything. And when I started to learn everything, I became a better business owner. I became a better business owner. Why? Because I started to understand what I was doing, who I'm helping, and how to help them. You see, that's one of the biggest challenges that I had was like, man, who are my customers? Okay, what am I going to sell? What am I going to offer? Is this the right offer? I think this is the wrong offer. I think I figured it out. Another failure. Another lesson. But see, it's growth. With half a decade and 893 podcast episodes of experience, now we know how to help entrepreneurs launch their podcast because we bring the production to you. In addition to that, all you have to do is just sit down, have the conversation, share your expertise, and we take care of the rest. The recording, the editing, and the publishing. This was good. Hold on. You can't grow if you don't fail. And so, just to recap everything that we talked about today. So, the 3 challenges that we talked about. Challenge number 1 is that your business is not about you. Your podcast is not about you. The second point that we talked about, people procrastinate when to launch your podcast because they don't know how to start. They think about the equipment and everything else. The last point that we talked about is that you have to be okay with failing publicly. When you fail publicly, you learn, but you have to be okay with the growth that you're going to develop into. And so, if you are a multifamily investor and/or established business owner who hesitated to launch their podcast, we will have a free 15-minute strategy call down in the link below. And if you're interested in learning more how to launch your podcast, feel free to schedule a free 15-minute strategy call. And in addition to that, before we get off, go ahead and hit that follow and that like if you got value around podcasting, got information around podcasting, understand the challenges when it comes to podcasting, how you can overcome them as well. Lastly, don't be afraid to fail because failure is knowledge. Appreciate y'all.